My name is Dave Surgan. I have been working in or with agencies for the past 20 years, and I am the one that's going to be advancing my slides, so I'm going to take this. So I've been working with agencies for the past 20 years. Most recently, I joined Meta from RGA, part of IPG, and agencies are the most critical partners at times of change. Right now, we are in a tremendous period of change, and it has been truly inspiring to be talking to and working with agencies as we build solutions to build the future of marketing together. There is so much opportunity ahead of us. So I'm going to be talking about a few things. I'm going to be talking about where Meta has been in our investments with AI, where we think things are going, how we build responsibly, and opportunities for advertisers and agencies. So I'll start first with talking a little bit about AI-powered experiences. AI, this word, has been used in so many different ways, especially in the last year. AI has been around for a while. Every time I am in New York, every time I drive to Long Island, a car crash has happened somewhere and I get rerouted. That is an AI-powered experience. Every time, with the click of a button, I can change an image that I took. That is an AI-powered experience. And every time I write an email and there's auto-populated text, that also is an AI-powered experience. These are all things that at one time felt pretty unfamiliar, but over time, we're just integrated into our day-to-day lives. And so we believe right now we're at the next new wave, a next generation of AI-powered experiences, and this is why we are talking so much about generative AI and these breakthroughs that have happened very recently and all of the moves that very large companies are making in response to this opportunity. So AI is not new. Meta has been using AI since we first launched Newsfeed. That was in 2006. That is quite a while ago. At the time, very controversial opinion. Very controversial decision. We changed the way that people were consuming information on Facebook. And over time, it became very clear that there was just too much information, too much content, and that the news feed solved a real need and surfaced something that you would most likely want to see. And so over time, there's been so many different instances where AI has helped solve clear problems for people at a tremendous scale. So that was 2006. Fast forward to 10 years ago, we launched something called FAIR, our fundamental AI research team. This is one of the leading research institutes in the world. It's led by a guy named Yann LeCun, who is one of the godfathers of this current generation of AI. He's a really fantastic follow on Instagram Threads or your preferred social network. And he really breaks down a lot of these complicated issues that we're talking about, talks about it very clearly. So he's leading our research team. We have moved a lot of this research into the open over the past decade plus so that the entire industry can benefit from this. So in the past year, we've also reorganized the way that our teams operate, and we have moved a lot of our research and a lot of these tools into the open, and a lot of agencies are actually able to build with these open source tools. So you might have heard of Llama, which is a large language model. And so these tools are being used by agencies today. Right now, a lot of it's experimental, but there are going to be entirely new waves of service offerings and new waves of business opportunities for agencies and advertisers. And so we have just been on a tear. In the last year, we have been moving a lot of this into open source, and we are doing more and more. Almost on a weekly basis, you're going to see more announcements from us. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our foundations of how we think about AI and how we make decisions. And so first off, we are thinking about multimodal. A lot of conversation in the past year has been a lot of text-based, these large language models, very text-based. When you look at how humans express themselves, text is really just the tip of the iceberg. And so multimodal, we believe that the future will be tools that can produce text for you in concert with images or videos or code or conversations that you're having. There's going to be a lot of different ways to interact with these experiences over time. The second is integrated. So everything that we do, we want to make sure it feels seamless and integrated. We week over week, have been moving a lot of these new experiences into our family of apps. And we are launching new things in our hardware and elsewhere that we'll cover in a little bit. But making sure that we can launch these things at billions scale has been really inspiring, and making these things easy to use, most of the time for free, has been really amazing to watch. Responsibility. So we operate at such a tremendous scale. We have a lot of really hard-earned lessons as a company. We take these lessons and we have produced a set of principles that we use for all decisions that we make when we decide to move something into the public. And so this approach to responsibility, there's 9 principles. I'll highlight the last one, which is that we take an open approach. So we work with regulatory bodies, we work with people like the 4As, we work with a lot of academic institutions so that when we have a research breakthrough, we can put it out into the open, have a conversation about it, and as a society, we can make decisions about what we're comfortable with, what we're not, what needs to slow down, what needs to speed up. And this helps us have informed conversations about actual tangible use cases. And this is a much more productive way of thinking about these things than just saying that like AI is Skynet, or like AI is this big amorphous being that will take over. You have to get into real use cases, and so that you can have actual debates around real things and real tangible outcomes. So this open approach that we have taken has led to things that are used across the entire industry. As we think about advertising, I'm just going to highlight one of our open source tools, which is called Segment Anything. So this allows you with just a few words of text to be able to segment anything in a video, and it will select it for the entire video. This is a task that was done by people in an editing suite. It would take hours upon hours. And I think we can all argue that outlining horses is not the most creative task. And so these are very specific, repetitive tasks that I highlight here, because there are things that we do on a day-to-day basis that are really repetitive, and some forms of automated products help solve really clear problems like this. And so we look at this, and there's a lot of different ways that we can start to alleviate a lot of these repetitive tasks so that we can spend time on things that are much more important. All right, I'm going to go through a few ways that we think about AI in our consumer products, and then I'll talk a little bit about advertising use cases. At Meta Connect, our big event happened in September. We made many, many announcements. And we have launched some hardware products, and then we also announced Meta AI. This is a tool that you're able to use. It is available today publicly in almost everyone's messenger. If you're in the EU, it might be some nuances there. But it's basically something that we put out for free for billions upon billions of people. We have 3.9 billion people using our full family of apps on a monthly basis right now. So anyways, we launched Meta AI. We launched something called Imagine, which is within Meta AI. It allows you to produce imagery. It is always watermarked so that you know it was produced by an AI. We have also launched tools in Instagram, new ways to express yourselves. And internally, it feels a little like a Cambrian explosion. We have built a platform and reorganized our product teams around Gen AI so that we are able to really rapidly put things out into the open for people to use, be able to connect with one another in different ways. And so we currently have 20 Gen AI experiments out today, and with many more to come. And then finally, we have AI stickers. Billions upon billions of people send stickers every day. And those stickers, we enabled you the ability to create those stickers on the fly with just a few words. You can create a custom sticker, send it to your friend. So all of these seemingly small use cases add up to a really big difference in the way that we can connect with one another. All right, let's take a turn into advertising. So we, as Meta, have spent tens of billions of dollars year after year after year. Whether the hype cycle has been up, down, left, or right, AI has been one of our 2 massive long-term bets on the future. we have had a very consistent strategy with AI for a very long time, and we can start to see some of these investments pay off today. This leads to things like a stronger discovery engine. I love fashion and I love snacks. That means that my recommendations in Instagram is a lot of fashion and a lot of snacks. This is additive to my experience on Instagram. It is not disruptive as much as other forms of advertising. I love it. There is a better ad relevance, 20% better ad relevance because of our AI investments. We're able to identify content that should not be on our platforms more effectively. And there are just so many different ways that these investments are already paying dividends for you today. And we are also really excited about what the future could look like here. So, Gen AI for advertisers. So far, we have launched 3 of our first ad features for agencies and advertisers. I'm going to take you through these 3. This is really just the beginning of a journey. There is a lot more happening. These are tools that are within our platforms. We're also working with agencies each day to better understand the tools that you're building that will lead to better ways to produce more efficient campaigns as well. All right, tool number 1 is image expansion. I think we're all pretty familiar that pretty often we are not always receiving or creating the ideal set of creative assets, the ideal sizes for every ad unit. A lot of times we might be working with the wrong aspect ratios. Image expansion intelligently understands what the image is and will expand that image for you automatically. That's number 1. This is found within our Advantage suite of automated media solutions. Number 2 is background generation. I'd say this is probably the earliest. This will continue to get better and better, but might be ideal to experiment with like a D2C brand that might have less strict brand guidelines. What this does today is you have a product catalog. It will create many, many different backgrounds for you, primarily colors or textures, something fairly abstract, and then serve that creative to the most relevant audiences, and allows you to get to variety and volume of creative really efficiently. We're just kind of at day 1 with this product, but I'm really excited to see where it goes. And things that we're thinking about next are just how do we get your brand guidelines into this creative output. And then the third feature, so that last one is also within the Advantage automated suite of media solutions. The third feature is text variations. This is found in Ads Manager at the ad level. Copywriter writes their brilliant copy. You can enter it into this tool, and it will provide you with a wide range of copy suggestions that you can take it or leave it, you can edit it, you can take what's working for you. We have found that copywriters, we weren't sure how people would react. We have found that copywriters absolutely love this because copywriters love getting to that perfect line of copy. They don't as much love writing 3,000 versions of that same line of copy for different units. And so this is something that over time it will continue to evolve, but we are really excited about being able to augment creatives with the ability to remove some of these really repetitive tasks. And then I had a quick nod to where we're going next with these tools. We have a pretty long roadmap. This is something that is going to be we'll be iterating on for a really long time. The next set of considerations that we're thinking about are more about understanding your brand's unique voice and visual style. So how do we make sure that the output from these tools are right for your client or your brand? As right now, the output is the same for everybody. And so we know it is step 1. That's not going to be ideal if you're working, let's say, with a luxury brand, and we're just rotating out creative options for you. It's not the ideal time to experiment yet, but these are going to continue to get better and better. And I look forward to sharing what we have in store later this year. So let's talk a little bit about how we think about AI. We really think much more about AI as a collaborator. It is something that helps you get your job done either more effectively, it helps you spend more time with thinking or giving you that spark for your campaign. Might help with imagination, and at the end of the day, it helps you be a more effective marketer. So these are really about tools. There's no way that all forms of every marketing task in the world will be automated. That's not a future that we want. I don't think it's a future anybody wants. But there are specific tasks out there, whether it be reducing clicks in Ads Manager or reducing the amount of times you have to write that same line of copy over and over again. There are really specific tasks where automation solves a clear need. And so we as Meta talk about AI in so many different ways. I'm the emerging platforms lead, so I have to track these changes on a day-to-day basis. And it is a lot. It's a tidal wave. It's because we have so many different parts of our company making breakthroughs and making announcements. I wanted to just break down how to interpret these announcements for marketers specifically. The first is, so we'll break it down into now, near, next. The first is what is available today, now. That would be our Advantage AI automated media solutions. So this is available. It is a more mature product. It is delivering tremendous results for a wide range of advertisers. For some of the products within there, it does really well with retail and e-com clients. But this is really all about potentially the future of media delivery. So that's here today, ready to go. I'd say in the near term, this is where we're thinking much more about Gen AI for creative tasks and understanding what are those needs where we can help alleviate some pain points. Right now, I'd put them in the more experimental bucket, but over time, they will continue to mature as all of our products do, and we will end up with a sweet spot where it will apply to millions of advertisers. And then finally, next, things that we announce primarily from our research team. So if it's on the Meta AI blog, or if you follow a lot of tech news, tech journalism, this is where there are announcements that might apply, and it might be, let's say, a research breakthrough or a new open source tool. That's going to be really amazing for either your product teams, or it might just not be something that's as actionable for most marketers today. So, but it helps you see a glimpse into what we're thinking about in the future. So with this now, near, next framework, I think it helps to break down, as you see us make many, many types of announcements, we have a really clear way of understanding this might apply to me in a big way today, or this might be just something relevant that I want to track for the future. So right now, it's a really exciting time. Again, I'm so inspired working with agencies day in and day out to understand how they're thinking about the future. Where are the right places to experiment? I think last year was a lot about talk. Everybody's talking about AI. This year, it feels like we are talking about very tangible use cases where we can begin to experiment for this next wave of innovation. So thank you so much for your time. I am so excited to be building with you in the future. Thank you.